So when you first book your intake call with Neteru Apothecary, what we will do is we will have that first 30 minutes to just talk about what issues you are facing, what you're interested in delving in together, whether that is more physical in nature, more energetic, more mental. Often people come with chronic conditions, whether it's chronic depression and anxiety, high blood pressure, autoimmune disorders. People will often come to this space and they will return to their ancestral wisdom of working with the plants and working with a healer once, they've tried a lot of things in Western medicine and it hasn't really worked out for them. So in the first consultation, I really just will explain part of my practice. We'll talk about the fact that once you book your client session, there are 2 intake forms that you will fill out. There's one intake form which is a medical history, so it goes into your family history, mental and physical history. It goes into your mental and physical history and spiritual history and how connected you are to spirit. Goes into different life experiences you might have had, hospitalizations, traumatic experiences, and then the general information of how old you are, where you were born, those types of things. And you would fill that out before our first client session. So after the consultation call, that's 30 minutes that you can schedule at any time on the website. After that call, if everything feels aligned and you feel excited to move forward and become a client of mine, then what we would do is you would be sent the link to book a time. We usually do 60 to 90 minute sessions, and they're sliding scale from about $70 to $150 per session. And you would get that link to book your appointment, and then you would get the link to book you would get the link to book the appointment, and then you would also have 2 other links that are provided that are the intake form. So one is the medical intake form, the personal intake, and then there's a second form, and the second form is Ayurveda. Part of my practice is going back to the Eastern medical science of Ayurveda, and we do a constitution form, which goes into the constitution of your body. And this is really important because it's really important for me to know what constitution your body is in. So there are 3 constitutions. There's Vata, Kapha, and Pitta, and one is ruled by fire primarily, one is ruled by water primarily, and one is ruled by air primarily. And so depending on the constitution of your system really would dictate the type of medicine that I would give you in an herbal remedy. So if you have a very dry, fiery constitution in your body, if your body is naturally very dry and fiery, then I would not, and you are worried about gastrointestinal upset, right? I would not give you herbs that were drying and added heat to the body. So ginger is probably not good for you, we would work with more cooling and moistening herbs, like cardamom, or we would talk about different foods that you can incorporate into your diet to help to bring that system into balance. And so in that first session after the intake call, where we will just talk and see what you're looking for and make sure that this is a fit, that you feel like it's a fit and that it feels like a fit for me. And then that first client call would be really going into your intake form and going into both intake forms and really creating a plan, going over the different things that you added in if we have to talk about medications and things like that. Because again, along with the Constitution sheet, like there are different medications that are contraindicated with certain herbs, so I wouldn't give you certain herbal remedies if you are on a certain medication as well. So that is the flow. So the first client call was really us just making a plan, diving deeper into your intake forms, and sessions go on by that. And then we might make a custom herbal blend together if that is something that is aligned for you. People sometimes they might just need spiritual guidance, and so maybe that's where they are in their journey. If the physical is really taking a huge toll on the body, then we would start with the body first. If there's deep physical discomfort, we would start with the body first, and then we would create a remedy to bring balance and ease to the body so that we can dive deeper into where this actually started. Because once things get to the body, it's because the energy has become so dense and we haven't been listening for so long that it's now manifested into a physical symptom. So in order to find the root cause of this imbalance, the root cause of this physical symptom that you are feeling, sometimes we need to address the physical symptom so that we can go deeper. So what I often end up doing with people is creating an herbal blend to soothe the body, and then we go deeper. And that might look like shamanic journeying. It might be doing some dream work. It might be more ceremonial work that we'll share together. And it also just sometimes might be energy work and spiritual guidance. And it's all really dictated by the client. Every client is very specific. They all have specific needs, a specific history, specific background. So that's why the way that I see clients, there is no one size fits all. People all need different things. I might work with someone and they'll never need to work with the plants. They'll never need an herbal remedy because they're in this plane of the spiritual, and that's something that they need. Or they just need guidance on their path. They need more of a pastoral guidance relationship. And so sometimes that is what I offer as well. I meet people where they are, whether they have a spiritual foundation or not. As an interfaith minister, I can really meet people exactly where they are.